Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be looking specifically at Namor. What I think, his abilities, the energy they start with, and the stats and how they rank up against all the other characters in the game. So if you're interested in Namor, you kind of want to know how he stacks up, let's check out what I got going here. Alright, so Namor. Let's see what he's got here. So again, traits are pretty basic. Villain, global, mutant, brawler, and then currently Marvel 80th. But let's really kind of look at his abilities here. So his basic is a damage piercing attack. It seems like it scales up pretty decently. We'll look at MSF.gg for the specific totals in it, but wanted to kind of see in game here, just kind of first how it's described and what it's kind of showing a bit. So yeah, the basic is pretty simple, nothing too crazy. His special is very interesting, where it's kind of like it's this on block basically. So in theory, if anybody's gonna block him, he can bonus attack. He also attacks his primary and adjacent targets as well. So you can see this is as it goes down here, it's damage and then piercing as well, primary and secondary targets. You know, and again, this on target block bonus attack. It's just, again, this to me is, I feel like maybe there might be a character that comes out that this is specifically made for, outside of the obvious already in game Captain America, you know, Merc Ryagard, Ultimus, you know, anybody who can essentially, Falcon, who can block anything. Not that he's gonna be seeing Falcon all that much, given that he being Namor's and Falcon are both war offense specialists, so you're probably not going to run into that too much. But his special seems pretty decent, you know, nothing too crazy. But the bonus attack on block is something semi-new. But I don't know, I kind of like it. It's cool. We'll see how it actually applies in game here. His ultimate is his, like, it's just his special. It's his baby. So Giganto. This is one where you see kind of him summon the giant water animal. I don't even know what to call it, Giganto, outside of its name. It's water beast. But what this is basically a damage to all enemies, and for war it clears all positive effects. And also changes speed bar. This to me is one of the best abilities they've got in the game. If you're into war, if it's just a regular mode, it's not really, it's just attacking everybody. But in war, it really is just a special ability that is gonna just wipe teams down, assuming the focus is good enough. So I love this ability. I'm planning on getting him, leveling him up pretty hard, and definitely T4 in this ability, like without a doubt. Just, it needs to be done, in my opinion. And then his passive is his other kind of like, holy cow. And again, it's a war thing, but it's a bunch of damage and armor. And then on war offense, you've got these spawn abilities where it's offense up and deflect to fantastic floor allies. So the T4 gives it where it's, and you can see T4 stuff in my other videos, but basically it gives it to everybody as opposed to just 3. So again, this is one that I'm probably gonna T4 to get in the offense up, and the deflects to everybody. And the deflects for 2 turns, offense up for 2 turns. I mean, that is just great. So you're gonna have offense up with Human Torch's special for 3 turns. I mean, that's amazing. So anyway, I love Namor's kit. It couldn't, the basic and the special, I think, are right where they need to be, given how good the specific, how good the ultimate and passive are. So I'm not upset with anything that they did in those two, because you can't make somebody too OP. So let's look at MSF.gg and speculate a little bit about how much ability energy he's actually gonna have to start. Okay, so we're on MSF.gg, and look, I always like to put asterisks on this, because depending what the files are pulling, etc., this could be a little bit off. But currently this is showing as if both special and the ultimate are ready turn 1, which makes sense, because you'd want to use that ultimate turn 1 right away. I mean, especially in war, if it's not ready for turn 1, it's like, okay. Now, depending on his speed, I'd be interested to see how it lines up with the Ultron minion buffs. So let's actually look at that for 1 second. All right, so you can see behind me that I've got my stat ranking spreadsheet, and I've got it sorted by speed rank. So what we're gonna look for is we're gonna find Ultron. All right, so, and you can see right now, so Ultron is here at 107 speed and Namor is 113 speed. So I don't love that. I was really hoping Namor's ultimate would be used for an Ultron clear. Now, obviously as a user, you can choose to do that and use a special first turn. I'm probably gonna tinker around with that and plan to try to use a special first against an Ultron team, and then see if I can use his ultimate second turn to try to clear out all of those buffs. Not sure how long everything's gonna kind of last and who's going first. Maybe Sue Storm does something that can make it easier for him to last. Obviously there's the deflect, so it's definitely possible. So that is something that's kind of interesting. The buffs that you're gonna clear, as you can see, above this. Let's see, Black Widow, so if you're facing her, but she's not really a huge threat at this point anymore. I guess Phoenix special, when she goes, if there's anybody who is using Phoenix on defense, don't use Phoenix on defense. It's better to use her on offense one turn. Then you can clear those. Kree Royal Guard, fine for defense ups. Let's see what else we got here. No, so yeah, so looking at this, I'm not sure I want to use that ultimate first turn in war, because I'm not sure how many buffs are going to be up unless it's an auto, engineering, or, there's a boost on it. So I might save that ultimate for turn 2. So now that we're already on the stat spreadsheet, let's actually look specifically at Namor and how he ranks up on each category. So first off, he comes in at an average rank of 54. So that's actually not too bad. His health pool is ranked 9th. That's super solid. I mentioned this in an earlier video. I'm really surprised about how high his health was. But again, I'm not super familiar with him as a comic character. But I didn't expect him to have a ton of health and be this. For me, health characters are just beefy, bigger, characters, and I just didn't see him as that. His damage rank is pretty poor currently, and it's 99th. It's expected to be 5263. And again, I should preface this by saying that all these stats are from MSF.gg. They're based on level 70, 7 yellow stars, 0 red stars, T11. The reason I like to do T11 and not T12 or further is because I just think that this is a more realistic range for most people to have their characters at, so they can get a better idea of how they stack up. So anyway, so the damage, it's low end there, so I'm not expecting him to do a ton of damage to anybody, but that doesn't seem to be why he's on this team. It seems like he's clearing buffs and providing buffs. Next up is armor. He's ranked 62nd, 3108. It's fine. It's, again, nothing crazy special. It's okay. Now, we talked about his focus earlier. His focus is pretty bad. So if you want to clear those buffs, you're probably going to need to invest in Mr. Fantastic's passive at T4, because at 90, I'm not sure he's going to be clearing a whole bunch of buffs. So this could throw this team off if his abilities aren't able to really clear essentially everything in war. It's kind of like, well, how good is it really? If he can't clear, the defender's defense ups on a second turn or something like that, okay, and Jessica Jones gives him additional resist. So I'm going to be curious to see how that focus increases with kind of all the Fantastic Four team synergies. Resistance 40, that's actually pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Upper tier. Speed, again, he's pretty fast. Given that he's going to be going faster than Ultron, 26, and then Ultron was, where he's at down here at 107. So, or down at, he's ranked 45th. And, it's only a small difference in numbers, but, as far as the character ranks, you can see that if they've got the same number, they're all 26. So then the next number is 33rd. So that's kind of how that ranking works. So his stats, again, average-wise, pretty decent. Not great. Not, gonna, knock you out of the park with anything. I will say that after looking at this and seeing his focus be on the lower end, I am a bit worried on how strong he's going to be and what he's going to do this team. I'd like to see that focus be higher. That clear on his ultimate needs to be able to hit, you know, and if it can't, that's a problem. So his average rank for HP, damage, speed, 44. If you incorporate everything else and all of his stat and all the other rankings, stats, etc., he drops down a little bit to 54. Just a slide of 10 spots. Not terrible, but you know, decent. So, you know, I'm still planning on investing in Fantastic Four, even with the focus being a little bit, you know, lower than I'd like for a character that I think is mainly there to clear buffs and provide buffs. Obviously, the providing buffs, that's going to happen regardless, but the clearing, not sure about that one, so we're going to have to see. So I hope this video helped. You maybe think about what you're going to do with Namor, you know, whether you want to jump on him or not, Fantastic Four, whether you're going to jump on him or not. Again, I'm still planning on investing in these guys. I might slow it down a little bit based on that focus thing and see how they kind of, you know, work at a lower level. And if he's clearing, then maybe I'm going to just go all in on him. But again, hope it helped. If it did, please hammer down on that like button, click that subscription button, click the notification bell, share with your friends, etc. I try to do the videos to help folks out, see if they want to, you know, decide and invest in something, share what I'm doing, you know, anything like that. So I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks.